Okay, so I want to talk about um, gender, gender and sex, and just bring to a different perspective than I see out there a lot. What I have been seeing, and I have to say I'm not comfortable with video so much. I'm much better at writing stuff down and and that way I can be clear. So I'm a little uncomfortable with this, but anyway, I feel like so much is out there in video right now, with people supporting each other, and while I support that, I also see something different than what I feel like I would have needed to see when I was a teenager myself. And so I guess this amounts to, like, I see a lot of stuff that affirms people transitioning, and if that's really what is right for someone, I don't begrudge them doing what they need to do. I mean, who's going to argue with happy? I'm not going to argue with what makes somebody actually happy. But I do want to say that, like, I've seen several videos where people have opted towards transition, and they speak about what made them come to that decision, and it's a list of things that I relate to, and I think that if I was probably in my late teens and all that right now, that people would probably encourage me to transition. And I have to say that I feel like that would have been wrong for me, and I think it would have been wrong because I've never really honestly felt like I had a problem with being female, although I have a problem with how I'm treated because I'm female. So it's a real different experience to me, but you sort of get affected in the same way, in a sense, because like I feel like my life is informed by the fact that I was born female, and that doesn't mean I feel like my identity has nothing to do with that, because whether I identified as a woman or not, ultimately, I would still have been treated as a girl, as a female, and so if we say gender and sex are different, that's fine. We're talking about one is an identity and a social construct, right, in gender, and sex is a different reality. And I didn't identify as someone who couldn't climb trees, yet I was told I could not climb trees, even while I was in them. I didn't identify as someone who couldn't play sports, and yet I was told I couldn't play sports, even when I was playing them. Like, I was discouraged to do anything that was outside of the box for girls. Sometimes I did them anyway, sometimes I didn't push. It sort of depended. At a certain age, I think, probably after puberty, I stopped pushing as much because, in addition to, like, having to push to do things I was interested in, I also then had to, like, stop guys from being gropey and things like that. So things changed, and my life was informed by all of these things, and, like, there were classes that girls had to take or that girls couldn't take. That's probably changed now, but that was my reality then. So I'm cutting this short because I think there's so much to say, and I just need to kind of get an idea of how I'm going to go about talking about the things that I feel like are important and I'm not hearing being said out there. Because, like, I'm concerned for everybody. I think all people should have a right to live their lives and be happy. So if, like I said, if transition is what's right for somebody, that's great. I'm so not concerned about the people in the same kind of way, the people who that's right for. I don't, like, more power to you. But like I want to make sure that, there were people around me who were supportive of me and who recognized stuff in me and who guided me towards a healing, and a healing of my understanding, I think, is what it is. It's like I had to learn a lot about things that I hadn't even named. So, I was given books, a lot of feminist books, feminism. That's really what's healed me and healed my understanding of my body and my relationship to the world in the body that I have. I wish that I could give like a very cool presentation and story and just be super hot and attractive to young folks, in such a way that they feel willing to identify with what I'm saying. And I feel like there's something very cool about the trans guy videos. They're all, hi guys, first day on T, 12 months on T, blah blah blah, muscles abound, facial hair and all that stuff, and it comes off real cool. And I'm maybe just a goofy lesbian, but I think it's important that all options are understood. Not that people assume that being uncomfortable with your body is unique to people who need to transition. I think it's very common for women, and for many reasons, and exploring all the possible reasons before you make major changes to your body, I think is important. So yeah, that's a start. Thanks.